But like here's like, I don't want to be a soldier and go fight to my death. Well, you should do what Yahweh says and go be a soldier and fight and die if you're going to die. Like this one doesn't hold the same sort of like theological value that I think some of the other ones do for your life. Hey folks, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bible so that you don't have to. And boy, what an uplifting, fun, beautiful, special book this is. I don't know if you've ever read the Bible or done a Bible study with some of your friends, but it is a book of inspiration. It guides you in your life. It gives you a few suggestions of how you might live. And then there's chapter upon chapter upon chapter of bloodbaths that God commands and does of his people. It's that sweet juxtaposition that we're all looking for in a book of love and myth. Not myth, truth. In a book of truth. And love. And so we're so lucky to have it in our world because it's done so much good. Oh, can you imagine? It's done so much good. I mean, what bad could come from a book where the main character, the God character, the best guy in the whole entire book, commands the slaughter of little girls as a sacrifice to him? The ones that aren't going to be so obviously and not explicitly, but pretty clearly sexually assaulted. This is a book that could do no harm in our world today. So it's a good thing we're going to be putting at least part of it into schools in certain places. I think that's important. But we're here reading Numbers 32, and I hope there's nothing damning in it, because a lot of these chapters have been just like very kind, very loving, and just indicate good values that we would like seen in our world today, and great morals, like don't ask questions of authority, or women shouldn't be able to keep their word if their dad or husband says that they can't, or don't complain about your dinner or else somebody will use it to kill you. So it's these types of things that are just like, yeah, can we go back to that time, God? When you were in charge and you were doing things right? Can we go back to that time, God? Because these days, all that damn autonomy, all these people have autonomy and it's just wrong. Oh, it's just wrong. I just hate it. But anyway, we're here in Numbers 32, and hopefully we'll hear more of these traditional values where people are killed for very good reasons and women have no rights. Numbers chapter 32. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of livestock. They are collecting. They saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead. Behold, the place was a place for livestock. You can tell that the people that are writing this are not literary geniuses. Like, they're just not good at it. And it may be that like some of this was like word of mouth, the oral tradition. I guess that was very important to the Hebrews. Eventually they wrote it down, and maybe like the words, maybe their language was primitive. I think it probably was. Languages have evolved to be a little bit more complicated as time goes on. Here we go, behold, the place was a place for livestock. And I think that what it's probably saying is like, behold, this place was fantastic. Lush green fields, like just perfect green and a good ecosystem to support a lot of livestock. More words to really explain it, but shows you how simple these people were, which is cool. That's why you see in certain stories when there's irony or a somewhat complicated plot, you go like, that's pretty impressive for these guys. Because they only knew how to say stuff like, behold, the place was a place for livestock, or it was the time of the first ripe grapes. You know what I mean? They're not good at words. They're not good at words yet. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Eliah, Sebam, Nebo, and beyond, the land which Yahweh struck before the congregation of Israel is the land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. They said, if we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Don't bring us over the Jordan. What's your best guess? What do you think is going to happen? Is this something that Yahweh's going to like? Now, I don't know if these people were eligible for Canaan anyway, because you know how like that whole generation was being killed. And I don't know exactly when this is. I don't know if it's like right before they go into Canaan or, because it hasn't really explained it to us yet. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're at the end of the 40 years, but we don't know for sure yet. But if we're at the end, these people maybe were eligible for Canaan. But they're like, we don't really want it. I feel like Yahweh's not going to be happy that they're rejecting Canaan. Moses said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, I thought Moses was going to be taken. God keeps saying he's going to take them to his people or whatever it is, gathered to his people. But he's still here. Like, how long does it take, God? He's not just slow to anger. He's not slow to anger. He's fast to anger. He's slow to keeping promises. That's what's so nice about him. Shall your brothers go to war while you sit here? Why do you discourage the children of Israel from going over into the land which Yahweh has given them? Your fathers did so when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. Yahweh's anger burned that day, and he swore, saying, surely none of the men who have come up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except Caleb, and the son of Jephunneh, and Keniz, and Joshua, the son of Nun, because they have followed Yahweh completely. Yahweh's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander back and forth in the wilderness for 40 years, until all the generation who had done evil in Yahweh's sight was consumed. See, this is telling us what I had suspected, which is that it has been 40 years. And I do also want to say, and I don't want to brag, but I think I did an excellent Moses imitating Yahweh voice. I don't know what the awards are that people are doing online, but I know I deserve one. I like whatever it is I deserve for that performance. For Moses doing the voice of Yahweh, like that's pretty. Turned out it sounded like Ray Romano, but I think I nailed that one. So this is a bit of a throwback. You guys will know what happened when, I think it was Numbers 13, when the spies, they spied out the land and they were like, oh no, it's scary. And they tried to discourage people from going there, and then they were killed. And so now these guys are like, well, we just want to hang out here. This is good enough. Why not? Why wouldn't Yahweh, especially if there's a lush land, why wouldn't Yahweh just let them be there? Why do we need to go to war? Why do we need to kill a bunch of people? What's the purpose? If we have a perfectly good place, it sounds like it might not be big enough for all of them, but I'm sure there's tons of wilderness. They've been wandering. So there's enough room for 2 million people to wander and not just move back and forth a couple feet. So it's vast. Build some places. I'll make the grass grow. I'll make some rivers run through it. I'll get you some wells or whatever you need. And then just enjoy, Build some hanging gardens or something like that. Why go and kill a bunch of people? Oh, they're evil. Well, then you kill them, Yahweh. Like, you get rid of them if they're so awful. Do a little localized flood that's like so localized that it's just like in the city. Even if people open the gates, the water just like it's just congealed, just like the water of the Red Sea, and it just stays there. And so people are like, oh my goodness, people are drowned and dead in there, but the water doesn't flow out. Do that. You're magic. This is part of your toolkit. Why are you sending your people to do all of this when they could be perfectly happy and healthy in the wilderness that you make lush, or in this particular land that's like seems up for grabs and perfect for cattle? Like, what's wrong with you? Oh, I forgot you love death. That's your motivation. What, you're not going to go in there and kill people? Yahweh really likes people killed, especially little girls. Behold, you have risen up in your father's place an increase of sinful men, to increase the fierce anger of Yahweh toward Israel. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all these people. They came near to him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our livestock and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will be ready armed to go before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place. Our little ones shall dwell in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until the children of Israel have all received their inheritance, for we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us on this side of the Jordan eastward. Okay, so they're like, we're not going to leave you hanging. We'll do the fighting. We're going to join in. We're going to help everybody get theirs, but we just want this. Like, this is nice. We'll go to war. We're going to make sure our children are safe, but once everything's done and the dust is settled, we're going to settle here. Is that fair? Moses said to them, if you will do this thing, if you will arm yourselves and go before Yahweh to war, and every one of your armed men will pass over the Jordan before Yahweh until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before Yahweh, then afterward you shall return and be clear of obligations to Yahweh and to Israel. Then this land shall be your possession before Yahweh. But if you will not do this, behold, you have sinned against Yahweh, and be sure your sins will find you out. Build cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which has proceeded out of your mouth. This is interesting. Like, when I've been doing my hypothesis as a scholar, and my hypothesis has been, of course, that these people wrote this and they're using it much later to kind of tell the story of the people and to give laws and to motivate the people the way they want to. What's this object lesson going to be about? Well, it's saying that you need to fight for your people. You need to be a soldier if you're called upon. You're allowed to have your separate place that you want. You can live wherever you want, but you gotta fight for the tribe, or God's going to be super mad at you. Now, it begs the question, of course, why does Yahweh require soldiers? Like, what's the goal? Like, what's the value of that to him? And I'm sure there's a theological reason. Usually when you get something like, we're scared of the Nephilim giants, why would God get mad at that? Well, he wants to be trusted. He expects you to trust him. Then we also would have like, oh, we're questioning Moses. Well, we don't like that because God has put him in authority, so you should respect the people he has put in authority, I suppose. But like, here's like, I don't want to be a soldier and go fight to my death. Well, you should do what Yahweh says and go be a soldier and fight and die if you're going to die. Like this one doesn't hold this same sort of like theological value that I think some of the other ones do for your life. Be faithful and be trusting and all those things. Be kind, be loving, all those things. It doesn't really work here. This one is really just like, if God says to go kill other people and do genocides, like go do it. And if you don't, he's going to get mad, even though he could take care of all of it with the snap of his fingers. Like he doesn't need you, but he still requires you to do it and get PTSD from it, presumably. This is a weird one, isn't it? Like it's just feels more strange. I don't know why they don't do this one in Sunday school. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, "Your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man who is armed for war, before Yahweh to battle, as my Lord says." So Moses commanded concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' households of the tribes of the children of Israel. Moses said to them, "If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass over with you, over the Jordan, every man who is armed to battle before Yahweh, and the land is subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan." If they go with you and they fight with you, great. They can come back, they can have this is theirs. But if they don't fight with you, well, then they have to stay with you. That's ironic. That's one of these like sweet ironies. Moses is like, by the way, I'm passing this on to Joshua and to Eleazar because I won't be around for this. So just so you know, this is the plan. This is what God says. And I wonder if they're like, yeah, sure, Moses, we'll definitely keep that in mind. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, "As Yahweh has said to your servants, so will we do. We will pass over armed before Yahweh into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan." Moses gave to them even the children of Gad and the children of Reuben, and to the half tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land according to its cities and borders, even the cities of the surrounding land. The children of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aroer, Atroth Shaphan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fortified cities and folds for sheep. The children of Reuben built Heshbon, Eliel, Kiriathaim, Nebo, and Baal Meon. Their names have been changed. Well, good to know. Thanks for making me read them, and they're not even the same names. And Sibmah. They gave other names to the cities which they built. The children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were therein. Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he lived therein. Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and took its villages and called them Havoth Jair. Nobah went and took Kenath and its villages and called it Nobah after his own name. It seems like there was like a little bit of fighting and skirmishing going on in this paragraph. Again, the war stuff, they just don't spend a lot of time on it. However, I also think that that they're saying what happens here, but we're going to read what happens in another chapter. I think that this is unfortunately spoiler alerts or something like that Or it might be that they're just like, okay, that's taken care of. Let's go talk about cool Joshua stuff or something. But for some reason, I have a feeling that like we're going to hear more about this stuff, but I could be wrong. I wonder if the Baal Meon thing, like their names have been changed because Baal is the name of a god. So maybe they didn't want to keep that name or something like that. Anyway, this was just ending the chapter with a bunch of annoying names to read. Great. Well, that's it, folks. I think it's pretty obvious what the Bible is doing when it's doing things. Actually, I think it's always obvious, and there may not be that much extraneous stuff other than a bunch of useless names, I'll say. But I think that that's there to make it, to legitimize it, make it seem like a real thing. Or maybe it's like, I don't know if you've ever watched one of these YouTube videos where there's like, somebody has a Patreon and they kind of are like, I'd like to thank my Patreons, and then they list them and then they say their names. I wonder if like the people that like are going to read the book, all these names apply to all those people. And maybe they even helped pay for the book, to be compiled. Maybe that was part of the thing. You want to be in the book? Okay, Ataroth, we'll put your name in the book. You're gonna be one of the princes of the congregation or something. You're gonna be one of the lands that they take. That's gonna be very exciting, So that might be what that is. But I think that when it comes to a chapter like this, it's like you guys need to go to war when you're told to go to war. Don't question it. Yahweh will be very angry with you. Okay? Okay. It's that sort of thing. All right, we'll see you next time. Subscribe, like the video, and comment if you wouldn't be so kind. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir.